The soft chime echoed through the cabin as the last few passengers boarded. Plush cream seats, golden accents, and polished mahogany panels whispered luxury inside the exclusive VIP jet. A woman in her mid-30s walked in, elegant yet understated. Her deep brown skin glowed against her tailored ivory coat. She held a simple black leather purse, wore no flashy jewelry, and kept her head high. She paused briefly, scanning her boarding pass. 1A. Naomi Williams walked confidently toward the front of the plane. From the corner, the lead flight attendant, Lauren, narrowed her eyes. Her smile faltered. She stepped forward quickly, intercepting Naomi before she could take her seat. "Excuse me, ma'am," Lauren said stiffly, arms crossed. "This is a VIP section. You may have taken a wrong turn." Naomi looked her in the eye, polite but firm. "I believe this is my seat. 1A. She handed over the ticket. Lauren barely glanced at it. "There must be a mistake. First class is full. You need to move to the back. Now." A few passengers turned their heads. Whispers started to flow through the rows like a rising tide. An older man in a navy suit raised an eyebrow but said nothing. A woman clutched her pearls and looked away. Naomi took a calm breath. "This is my confirmed seat. Please check your manifest again." Lauren's voice rose slightly. "I am the manifest, and I know who belongs up here." The words hung in the air like poison. Naomi's expression didn't change. "I'm not moving." Lauren's smile curled into a smirk. "Security will be happy to escort you." A stewardess behind her, younger, nervous, fidgeted with a tray. She opened her mouth to speak, but Lauren silenced her with a glare. Naomi, still poised, sat down in 1A, crossed her legs, buckled her belt. Lauren's cheeks flushed red. "Ma'am, this is your final warning. You will move." A businessman, across the aisle, leaned closer, watching now with mild curiosity. "I've paid for this seat," Naomi said evenly, "and I'll be staying here." Then it happened. Lauren's hand shot out, and in one sharp motion slapped. The sound cracked across the cabin. Gasps filled the air. A woman let out a short scream. Phones slipped out of hands. Naomi's face tilted slightly from the force. Her cheek flushed red, but her posture never broke. The silence that followed was brutal. Naomi looked back at Lauren, her expression unchanged. No rage, no shock, just something colder, controlled. She slowly reached into her purse, pulled out her phone, tapped once, sent a message. Passengers stared, unsure whether to intervene, to apologize, to support. A heavy guilt started to settle in the air, not just for what had happened, but for how long they had stayed silent. Naomi looked around once, briefly meeting eyes. "I'll be staying," she said calmly, and not a single soul dared argue. The private terminal was nearly silent, just the soft tapping of polished heels and the occasional clink of a champagne flute. Outside the wide glass wall, a sleek silver jet shimmered under the mid-morning sun. Naomi Williams stood at the gate, effortlessly elegant. In her mid-30s, she wore grace-like armor. Her camel-toned skin glowed against her cream overcoat, cinched at the waist with a black belt. No designer labels shouted for attention, just quiet confidence and timeless style. A black turtleneck, tailored pants, and a single pair of diamond stud earrings. She wasn't here to impress, but she did. A soft chime sounded. "Now boarding. Private Charter 77 for New York." She stepped forward, nodding politely to the hostess. The jetway was plush, padded underfoot. Inside, the cabin opened like a luxury hotel lounge in the sky. Golden ambient lights lined the ceiling. Rich leather seats, trimmed in bronze, faced one another in intimate pods. Crystal champagne flutes sparkled on mahogany trays. There were only 8 passengers. The silence smelled like wealth. Aged oak, citrus, cologne, and chilled air. A couple sat to the right, the woman adjusting her silk scarf, the man reading the Wall Street Journal. Across from them, a younger socialite with flawless makeup and a small white dog nestled in a designer bag gave Naomi a long head-to-toe look. Her lips parted, but she said nothing. Farther back, a man in a navy business suit scrolled on 2 phones at once, muttering about market shifts. He didn't glance up. Naomi paused in the aisle. Her ticket read, 1A. "Good morning," she said softly, a warm, even voice. That's when Lauren appeared. The lead flight attendant moved with precision. Mid-40s tall blonde bun pulled tight enough to sting. Her uniform pressed like armor, lips painted with intention. Her clipboard clicked into place on her palm. Lauren's eyes met Naomi's. The greeting never came, just a blink, a measured scan, then her smile, the kind that isn't one returned. "Welcome aboard," she said, not quite warmly. Naomi returned the nod and continued forward. Lauren turned subtly as Naomi passed. Her gaze lingered. Just a beat too long at the front. Naomi reached her seat. She placed her coat over the armrest and tucked her purse neatly beside her. Then she sat, crossing her legs, elegant, silent. Lauren walked briskly to the galley. She didn't speak to Naomi. Instead, she addressed the co-attendant, a younger woman named Megan. "That's her?" Lauren asked under her breath. Megan looked confused. "I think so. Yeah, 1A. Lauren frowned. "She doesn't look like first." Megan hesitated. "But her name's on the manifest." Lauren's eyes narrowed. Check again. Back in the cabin, Naomi sat still, but alert. Her posture was regal. Her eyes scanned the space without moving, her head trained, professional, observing everything. She noticed Lauren whispering. She noticed the socialites' sideways glances. She noticed how no one greeted her. She was used to it. The older man glanced up from his paper. A flicker of confusion crossed his face, as if trying to place her. Then he went back to reading. The jet engines began to hum. Naomi closed her eyes for a moment. She wasn't here to prove anything. She had boarded hundreds of planes. She had sat in seats like these, not because of luck or accident, but because she owned them. But still, it never changed. She smiled gently to herself. Meanwhile, Lauren adjusted her collar and walked slowly back down the aisle. As she passed Naomi again, she gave her a second glance, this time colder, more guarded. Naomi looked up, their eyes met. Polite silence, slow burn building to explosive confrontation. Heavy use of dialogue, whispers, escalating tension, emotional unease, silent allies. Make viewers feel frustrated, helpless, and finally stunned by the slap. What happens? As the plane doors close, the mood becomes more charged. Lauren, the senior flight attendant, walks down the aisle with a forced composure. Her eyes linger again on Naomi, who's quietly flipping through a magazine. Naomi feels the weight of that stare, but doesn't flinch. Lauren stops. Lauren, curt, with a tight smile. Ma'am, I'm going to ask one last time. Please take your assigned seat in the back. Naomi.com/polite. This is my seat. 1A. Check the manifest again, please. Lauren glares at her. The tension thickens. A few passengers nearby lower their headphones. Some glance toward the front. Lauren louder now, drawing attention. This seat is not meant for economy passengers. The pause before economy is sharp. A white woman nearby frowns, pretending to look away. A young man raises his eyebrows but says nothing. Naomi, I booked this flight privately. If there's a misunderstanding, it isn't mine. Lauren with clipped venom. I've worked on this route for 7 years. I know exactly who usually sits here. Naomi holds her gaze, unmoved. Her voice never rises. Naomi, then I suggest you get used to different faces in this seat. Passengers begin murmuring. A low hum of discomfort ripples through the cabin. One person starts filming quietly with their phone. Grace, the junior attendant, watches from the galley, clearly uneasy. Lauren exhales through her nose. She forces a professional smile and retreats toward the back. Naomi thinks it's over, but it's not. Moments later, Lauren returns, this time holding a glass of chilled water. She leans over Naomi with exaggerated politeness. Here, for your comfort. Naomi looks up. Just as she reaches for the glass, Lauren tilts it. The water splashes across Naomi's lap, soaking her pants and part of her coat. Gasps rise. One woman says, "Oh my God." Lauren mocks sweet. "Oh no. Clumsy me." Naomi freezes. Her lips tighten, but she doesn't react. She grabs a napkin and dabs at the water in slow, precise motions. Naomi quietly. "It's fine." Lauren shrugging, louder now. "Next time, keep your hands still when someone's helping you." Middle-aged man 2 rows back says under his breath, "This is ridiculous." But no one speaks up. Not yet. Lauren turns and whispers something to Grace. Grace's eyes widen. She hesitates, then nods, retreating to the service area. Lauren walks past again, smug, victorious. 10 minutes pass. Then Lauren returns. Lauren, public voice. "Fake professionalism, ma'am. You've refused to comply with crew instructions. I'm giving you one final chance before we contact ground security." Naomi still composed. "I'm seated exactly where my ticket assigned me, and I haven't broken a single rule." Lauren leans closer. The mask slips. Lauren low. "Cruel. You people always think rules don't apply when you have a little money. But this isn't your world." She turns to walk away, but Naomi speaks. Naomi low. "Clear. You're right. This isn't my world. I own it." Lauren freezes mid-step. A deadly silence falls over the cabin. Someone whispers, "Wait, what did she say?" Then Lauren whirls around. Without warning. Slap. The sound echoes like a gunshot. Naomi's face jerks to the side. Grace gasps audibly. A few people shout, others just stare in frozen shock. Phones come up. Naomi stays still. She doesn't cry, doesn't yell. There's a red handprint across her cheek, but her voice is steady. "Naomi, you just made the biggest mistake of your career." She picks up her phone, unlocks it, and types a short message. Presses send. Lauren's smirk falters for the first time. Naomi doesn't say another word. She places the phone gently on her lap and folds her hands. Passengers are now whispering louder. She didn't even fight back. Did she just say she owns? That flight attendant just hit her? Lauren looks around. The shift is happening. Control is slipping. Grace steps forward. Her voice trembles. Grace whispering, "Lauren, maybe we should check with the captain." Lauren spends his eyes burning. Not a word. Naomi closes her eyes, calm and control. The storm hasn't passed. It's just beginning. What happens? The cabin sits in silence after the slap. Naomi hasn't moved. Lauren paces nervously. Passengers whisper, some still filming. Then the cockpit door opens. The pilot steps out slowly, his expression unreadable. All eyes follow him as he walks to the front, stands before the cabin. Pilot clearing throat. Ladies and gentlemen, I've just received a direct call from upper management. The owner of this aircraft is on board. Murmurs ripple through the cabin. Pilot pausing, looking at Naomi to clarify not just this jet but the airline itself. He turns fully toward Naomi. Pilot with respect. Ms. Naomi Sinclair, CEO of Sinclair Aviation, we sincerely apologize. Corporate has been informed of the incident, gasps Echo. Phones start recording. Some passengers sit up straighter. Naomi finally stands. She adjusts her coat slowly, then steps forward with the poise of someone completely in control. Naomi.com, clear. My name is Naomi Sinclair. I own this jet, I own this airline, and I've been quietly observing. She turns, slowly addressing the cabin, eyes calm, voice unwavering. Naomi, I boarded this flight like any other passenger, because I believe how people act when they think no one is watching. That's who they truly are. Her gaze falls on Lauren, who is now visibly shaken. Naomi gently but firmly, you didn't fail me by treating me poorly. You failed yourself. Lauren takes a step back. She tries to speak, but nothing comes. Naomi to passengers, kindness and professionalism should never depend on someone's appearance, race, or assumed status. Let this be a lesson. The passengers nod. Some whisper while under their breaths. Lauren's face is pale. Her posture collapses inward. Naomi final statement. I remained silent not because I was weak, but because I was watching. And now, I've seen enough. What happens? As the truth settles into the stunned cabin, Naomi steps forward with quiet dignity. Her voice doesn't rise, but every word cuts sharper than a scream. Naomi calmly. To Lauren, you are hereby terminated from Sinclair Aviation, effective immediately. Lauren desperate. Wait please, I didn't know who you were. Naomi firm, unshaken. That's the problem. You treated me based on who you thought I was. A moment of dead silence. Then applause erupts from the passengers. Phones are rolling. Everyone witnesses Lauren's fall from power in real time. Suddenly, police officers appear at the cabin entrance. Called ahead by Naomi's corporate security team. Naomi to officer, handing her phone. This contains video evidence. I'd like to press assault charges. Lauren tears flowing, voice cracking. I'm sorry. Please don't do this. I have a family. Naomi softly, but piercing. You didn't think about that when you humiliated me. You didn't respect me until you feared me. The officers take Lauren aside as passengers watch. Some silent, others murmuring approval. Meanwhile, Grace, the junior flight attendant who had remained neutral but didn't participate in the mistreatment, stands nervously nearby. Naomi turns to her with a gentle expression. Naomi, you saw what was wrong and you didn't join it. That's integrity. She turns to her assistant, who has just boarded from the terminal. Naomi, to assistant, promote her. Double her pay. She's the kind of woman I want representing this brand. Grace gasps, nearly cries. Overwhelmed Grace, choked voice. Thank you so much. As Lauren is led away in cuffs, Naomi gathers her coat, walks slowly down the aisle. Passengers step aside, some nodding, others placing hands on their hearts in silent respect. One whispers, she's a queen. Naomi exits the aircraft, flanked by assistants, walking tall, unbothered, in complete control. A final look over her shoulder, no smile, no revenge in her eyes, just power. Quiet, earned, and absolute. Some days later, Naomi appears in a now viral sit-down interview on a popular morning show. The studio is bright. Calm. A stark contrast to the chaos on the plane. Interviewer curious but respectful. You stayed calm when many would have shouted why. Naomi soft smile. Because I didn't need to raise my voice to raise the standard. She goes on to share her perspective, not just as a CEO, but as a black woman who spent her life proving her worth in rooms, in board meetings, and now on airplanes. Naomi earnest. Luxury isn't about seats or champagne. True luxury is dignity, kindness, humanity. Clips roll during the interview. Her composed stance after the slap, her dignified exit, the passengers' applause. The world saw it all. The story became bigger than one flight. It became a movement. Naomi then announces a major shift. Naomi firmly. We've implemented mandatory anti-discrimination training for all our airline staff worldwide. No more? I didn't know. Now, you will know. She leans forward, slightly more passionate now, but still composed. Naomi, every person who boards one of our planes deserves to be seen, not judged. Valued, not categorized. Scene shift. We cut to Naomi boarding another flight. Weeks later, this time, the energy is different. Flight attendants greet her with genuine warmth. A young crew member nods respectfully and says, "Welcome aboard, Ms. Sinclair. It's an honor." Number 1 asks her to move. No one questions her place. As she walks to her seat, passengers recognize her, but this time with admiration, not judgment. She sits, fastens her belt, and stares briefly out the window. Soft inner monologue voiceover. Style. Respect isn't earned through money. It's a right, not a privilege. She closes her eyes. At peace. At last.